How's it going, guys? Cameron here with Canadian Gamer, coming at you with another video. Hang in there. It's almost Friday. It's almost the weekend. So a lot of you guys got a kick out of my video last night talking about my thoughts on the 7th gen being the sweet spot of gaming. But I guess there is an argument to be had that maybe it's not the sweet spot. Maybe it is the dark spot, if you will. Maybe it's the black mark in gaming history. There are a few things that I omitted when I was talking about the 7th gen gaming, and a couple of commenters brought it to my attention. So I've got two comments I'm going to read here, and I think these comments bring up some valid points, and maybe we can have a discussion as to perhaps maybe the 7th gen is the worst moment in gaming history. So here it is, a comment here from PS2 Gamer for Life. Now this actually could be Alpha Nerd, I don't know. He says, I hated everything about the 7th generation. Nintendo switched from the awesome Game Boy Advance SP to that horrible DS with dual touch screens, and I hated the idea of motion controls on the Wii. Sony and Microsoft games were starting to be released unfinished, and often had patches and updates. DLC on consoles started to be a thing, so you never got the whole experience on disc. The PlayStation 3 controller was awful. Motion controls even started to appear on Sony and Microsoft consoles as well. I hated many of the games since there was an obnoxious amount of cutscenes during the game, and that ruined the immersion of the experience for me. Plus, QuickTime events started to appear way too much, in my opinion. Luckily, I sold off my PS3 and Xbox 360 before they got Yellow Light of Death and Red Ring of Death. I started expanding my PS1 and PS2 collection, and for me, those were the sweet spot in gaming. I can't lie, this guy brings up a lot of good points. Having experienced the Yellow Light of Death recently, and I did back in the day, over a decade ago, I had an original white arcade model Xbox 360, which was given to me from someone else, and I ended up giving that console to another friend, and he ended up experiencing the Red Ring of Death. So if I hadn't have given him the console, I probably would have experienced it as well. So, yesterday, I was more so talking about the catalog of games, not necessarily the consoles. If you look at the PS3 Slim model or the Super Slim, or even the Xbox 360 Slim model, hey, I bought one from Walmart over 10 years ago, 11 years ago now. I've told this story before. I bought it with my Christmas bonus, and it's still ticking. It's barely ticking, but it's ticking. But again, this guy does bring up a lot of good points. I don't really want to get into the discussion about the Nintendo DS. I've never been a big fan. I had a DS at one point. Maybe I'll talk about it another day. I didn't have it for very long. He talks about the PS3 controller being awful. It absolutely is. I've talked about that before. The 6-axis controller. Motion controls, yeah, that's something that's really a sticking point. A lot of people do not like the motion controls. They're very gimmicky. I will agree, there is an obnoxious amount of cutscenes during the game that do ruin the experience, that take you right out of the immersion, especially when you're in the middle of playing the game and it takes it away from you and pulls you out of the immersion and forces you to watch a cutscene. A lot of times you can't skip them either. QuickTime events, one that comes to mind when I think about QuickTime events would probably be, I don't know, maybe Resident Evil 5. That one was pretty bad. Albeit that's nothing new for that series. I'm pretty sure we had QuickTime events in RE2 as well. Alan Wake had a lot of QuickTime events. There's a lot of games from that era that had QuickTime events. Even Gears of War and God of War. So yeah, this guy brings up a lot of good points. Now I'm going to read one other comment that I have here from a subscriber that needs no introduction, the Darius Truxton Show. So he says here, no! 7th gen is by far the worst gen of all time. How many crap boxes in PS3s has everyone been through? 5? 6? These consoles were designed to randomly break. Red Ring of Death had no explanations. They just randomly broke on people. Again, it's a good point. It's an argument to be had. Again, he's not necessarily talking about the catalog of games on the consoles, but he's talking about the consoles themselves. They are extremely temperamental, especially those early models. And I think the original Xbox 360 arcade model, the white model, and the piano black PS3, those consoles are going to end up being like a lot of the Dodge vehicles from the 90s. They're not going to be on the road anymore. The arcade model 360 is like a Dodge Neon, maybe a Dodge Intrepid. And the PS3, the fat model, I don't know, Dodge Stratus? So these are some good arguments to be had. I still think the 7th gen is the best gen, at least as far as the catalog of games are concerned. Maybe not the reliability of those earlier consoles. But again, there's an argument to be had there. Definitely the 6th generation is really strong as well. So leave it in the comments below. Do you think the 7th generation is the sore spot of gaming? Let me know in the comments below. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I hope you have a good rest of your night. Take care.